Yeah, what you see on your screen is a screenshot of a Facebook post I did yesterday. I'd actually shared this image that has this, I believe it's a handwritten in chalk on board, and then someone took a photograph of it. But it was something I had seen some months back, probably last year, and I just said, wow, it resonated with me because it was consistent with the ideas I've been sharing about best practice parenting and schooling, and the need for us to look at emphasizing the talents, abilities, skills, and interests of our children in deciding what kind of education we should give them to prepare them for adulthood. So I want to just read it out because a friend of mine on Facebook commented on it. I think he was expressing surprise about the fact that the idea proposed in this message was kind of at variance with what everybody we've all been brought up with, and which we're trying to change, but because it's we're so used to it, we don't know what else to do. So people find it a bit strange, but the reality around us suggests that it is the way to go. And other parts of the world, people are beginning to do it. Parents are beginning to take the initiative for their kids, and even in Nigeria, we're having some. So I posted it, and then I posted. And he commented, and I realized that his comment suggested he thought it was an outrageous idea, or that it was like crazy. So I felt, let me just give him my 2 kobo, 2 naira opinion based on all the work I've been doing that some of you would have seen my articles on best practice and schooling. So I did that, and I just compiled 3 points which I'm going to share with you in this video. So that's it. Let me just take you through it, and then I just want to share it with everybody else who might encounter this. Even if it's one person I'm able to connect with in terms of passing out this bit of insight, then I would have made a world of difference, in my opinion, because at least that means one child will avoid getting misled about what he or she needs to prepare him or herself for success in adulthood. All right, so first of all, I'm going to read what's on the board, and then I'm going to read what I wrote as a comment. I won't read it verbatim. I'll just give you an overview, and then the link will be provided in the description box for the video. You can then check it out if you want. Right, imagine if school, so this is I'm reading it out now. Imagine if school actually helped kids identify their strengths by exploring their talents from a young age and growing their skills over the 12 years, instead of letting them all follow the same routine and leaving them confused in life after graduation. Now, when I posted this on Facebook, what I did was also to post something I've been saying in a lot of my writing, including my white paper that got me invited by the Ministry of Education. I said, children are not catfish babies or catfish fries, and they are not poultry chicks as well. So you cannot just lump them together and expect them to all grow at the same rate and graduate from the different levels at the same rate and mature for adulthood and going into the world at the same rate. We all have different learning styles. We all have different passions, talents, and abilities. We will all respond to learning differently. Therefore, every individual is unique and must be treated so. So the parents have a role to play here. I posted that along with the photograph, along with the image or the meme, and the gentleman then posted, it was like an exclamation, like, what kind of idea? This is crazy, that kind of thing, I thought anyway. So I had to do a response, because deep inside myself, I've always felt that not everybody understands. It's not that they don't want to, they just don't understand that the formal schooling system, the conventional schooling system, they don't understand that it's not enough. So I know I've been screaming about this for over 15 years, but I realize also that not everybody is listening. Sometimes it's the challenges some people are facing in life, maybe through their sons, their daughters. They are forced to revisit the idea they've always had in their minds that the schooling system was adequate, and they say, well, this is my child, got a distinction and everything, so why is my child struggling? And then they are forced to revisit their thinking about those ideas about the school system. Then they begin to question it. Then at that point, they become receptive. They say, there's a saying that when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So when they become receptive, it's not for me to walk away, it's for me to then offer them the new insight, and maybe then they can see where they need to change. So that's what led me to come back to the post and do a more lengthy one, in which I said, I gave 3 points, to just kind of, and then I left it with the warning at the end. I said it's been done. I made the point that this was already been done. What was written in that on that board was already being done. It's just that it wasn't being done by a majority of people. And then I said there were 3 references I was going to share. So the first one I mentioned, there's this video I did some months ago. 2 teenagers over a period of some months. There was one guy, and the other one John Husseini, both of whom were making money as coding professionals. They were self-taught, and they were making millions of the equivalent in naira, millions in naira, but in dollar terms, and these guys had people they were still in school. In fact, Njoku dropped out of school, and has started his own company, a cryptocurrency company. And then John Husseini was already, the guy is making millions or so. So I said, those are young people that are proving that right here in Nigeria, the need for this, because the whole idea of the schooling system was to prepare the children for adulthood, right? And most importantly, to be able to fend for themselves. Then they already discovered how to succeed in that regard without even finishing school. So definitely it's not the school system they need now to. If anything, like Njoku did, he just put the school aside and just focused on his business. So there's a message there for parents, if parents that will listen anyway, that look, and like Njoku's father, I remember the story, I read it. Njoku's father was even kind of at loggerheads with him initially, until the young man began to produce bigger and bigger paychecks, and the old man was forced to even begin to tell Njoku's younger brother to go and learn from his brother. So, and then Njoku got to his point, by the way, where he was paying the school fees, the medical fees for his elder brother, who was in one of the Eastern Bloc country, I think Bulgaria or so, studying medicine. And he told his father, don't worry, I'm making money in dollars. You are changing money from naira to dollars. You'll be losing out. Let me handle this. I'll pay the fees. And so the younger brother, who was a teenager, was then paying his elder brother's medical school fees with money he was making as a coding professional, even though he didn't even, he only did complete a secondary level education. He dropped out of university in his first year. That tells you that something's not right about the school system, because they're telling us, you need to get tertiary level education. This guy is financing the education of somebody else who is in tertiary level of schooling. Then I made the second point, where I shared the story about the fact that the House of Reps approved a new law which made vocational skills based education compulsory in secondary schools, and made them an extension of vocational school educational system, wherein there will be like places where each child will be expected to demonstrate competence in at least one vocational skill before being able to graduate. And so by the time a child graduates from secondary school, the expectation is that by having practical competence in a vocational skill, he or she will be able to fend for him or herself, regardless of whether or not he or she chooses to continue to a high level of schooling. Then of course I mentioned the fact that I was invited by the Ministry of Education to meet with the chairman of the State Parents Forum, again, because I wrote a paper, some of you might know about it, that talked about how parents need to take the driving seat and design a custom education system for themselves, for their kids, rather than wait for the school system to change, because the changing of the school system is going to require a lot of people to take some decisions, and the bureaucracy might not make it work the way it should. Meanwhile, your child, if you allow the child to just go through that, then your child might lose out in the long run, because he or she will arrive at adulthood less prepared than it should be. So you can play that role by adding what is missing from the schooling system for your child, which is exposure to vocational skills education on a very regular basis ahead of him or her finishing school, which is what I was doing with my kids. I wrote about it, and I wrote to the Ministry of Education. They invited me. I did what I had to do. I spoke with the chairman of the Parents Forum, and this is my hope that they will take it up. But at least the fact that the House of Rep has made it a law kind of reinforces the point I was making. Then the third point I made was that, look, even Davido, somebody who is in the consciousness of many of our young people, so that makes it easy to sell this idea to our youths and their parents. Davido himself, the father, saw that the young man dropped out of the university in the US and said, look, this boy, I want you to have a degree. But she understood that the boy was interested in music, so he said, okay, get a degree in music. And in order to make it happen, he financed the setting up of a music school, a music department in the university, the private university in Nigeria. I think I've forgotten the name now, but you can check it out in the link in the description box for this video. And he made it happen. The young man now is graduate, but he graduated in what he had a passion for, and we all see him doing well. The point is, the father understood that he needed to key into the young man's interests, passions, talents, and skills, and that was why they were able to connect. Parents need to stop trying to force the kids to do what they want. You must ask yourself, what is it this child shows interest in, has a passion for, what's it that he's happy doing? That is what you need to connect with your child on, and that's it. So that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to just share with you the insights I posted on Facebook in a video format, so that for those who might not encounter my post on Facebook, you'll at least see this, and maybe, just maybe, you can help your child